everybody, it's Mickey, and in today's video we are in the kitchen because I have a whole week's worth of recipes for you. I have a grocery haul and meal plan, everything that you're going to need to get you through the week. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. So I thought the best place to start off today was with our meal plan for the week. I meal plan every Sunday afternoon, and I really do try to stick to the plan that I laid out. I mean, every now and then I will just, order a pizza or something like that, or eat leftovers, but I really do like to stick to the plan that I lay out because that way I don't let any food go to waste. We use up what we buy and what we have in our refrigerator, pantry, and freezer. So this week, the plan looks like we are going to be having some BOURSIN pasta and chicken on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to be picking up groceries, and I have planned to make some pasta fagioli. On Wednesday, we have some crock pot sausage and peppers. On Thursday, we're going to have meatloaf and mashed potatoes and veggies. And then on Friday, we're going to have some salmon and orzo. Saturdays are always the best day because it's leftover day, and it's kind of like, you fend for yourself, decide what you want to eat. We don't all have to eat the same thing. There's usually a ton of leftovers in the fridge and freezer. And so that, for me, is my favorite day of the week. For dinner tonight, I am making my absolute favorite quick night meal. This meal looks like you have been in the kitchen for hours, but it is so quick. You can go from not knowing what to make to dinner on the table in about 45 minutes. I am going to be making that BOURSIN cheese pasta. This is such a great recipe because you can pretty much clean out all of the veggies you have in your refrigerator. For tonight, I'm going to be using some spinach. I have some grape tomatoes here, and I also have some asparagus and some mushrooms. Along with the BOURSIN pasta, I am going to be making some chicken tenders. This is probably maybe like a pound of chicken tenders. I'm going to season it really well with salt and pepper, garlic powder, a little bit of parsley, and Mrs. Dash. And then to the top, I am going to add this garlic Parmesan sauce from Kinder's. I don't know if you have ever tried this, but it is so delicious, pretty much on anything you put it on. So I'm going to start putting this all together. Once I have both dishes in the oven, I'm going to set the oven about 350, 375 for about 35 minutes. And once that's all in the oven, I'm going to start my water to boil so I can boil some orzo to go with everything. So here's the thing about chicken tenders and why I prefer them over just about any other type of chicken. If you are really tight on time, chicken tenders cook up in literally minutes. They are so much easier to portion out or do portion control, and they're small enough that you can include them in leftovers for lunch the next day. I found this recipe originally on Instagram, and I have made it numerous times with so many different combos of veggies. They are all delicious. The basic rules are you add your spinach, tomatoes, whatever other veggie you want to add to the mix. Put your BOURSIN cheese in the middle and season it really well with lots of garlic, Italian herbs, salt and pepper. Drizzle some olive oil over the top to moisten everything, and then you're going to put it in the oven for about 30 minutes or so. When you take it out, mix the cheese up with the veggies, add your pasta, and this is the most delicious dish. This is dinner under an hour, probably around 40 minutes or so, and it is absolutely delicious. It's good enough to serve to company or have on a special occasion, but I depend on this dish for a really busy night when I know I have a little bit of time and a little bit of energy to get dinner on the table. So it has been a little while since I shared a grocery haul with all of you, and I just got back from Walmart. I picked up my grocery order there, and I thought this would be a good one to share because we're gonna have some family things here at the house. So I have picked up a bunch of different things that I don't normally get on a regular basis. So I thought this would be a good one to share with all of you. My plan for dinner this week will be to use up a lot of things that I already have in my refrigerator and freezer. I already have some chicken in there, and I also have some ground turkey that I want to use for meatloaf, and I will be heading back out to Costco later in the week to pick up some salmon. So let's start over here with some of the good for you things. I got a large package of white mushrooms. I'm going to be making pasta primavera this week, and I always put like 3 or 4 sliced mushrooms in that. And we also use this on Fridays on top of our pizzas. I also got a package of organic baby spinach. This is one of those things that I have to have in my house every week because we put spinach in our eggs, in our salads, on top of sandwiches and tacos. This is one of the really easiest ways to add some good things to a lot of different meals that you make. So I also got a big package of baby carrots. I'm going to be putting together some veggie trays. I also got a couple containers here of some fresh dill. I'm going to be using this on our veggie trays as well, along with some of these little small peppers. You just kind of slice them in half, add a little bit of herb cheese to them, and a stem of dill, and it looks like a little carrot, and it looks just really cute on your veggie tray. So we're going to be doing that this week. I also have a bunch of flat leaf Italian parsley. I have a red onion and a couple white onions here. I have 2 packages of grape tomatoes. These are so good just to snack on. And I also add these to my pasta primavera and salads as well. I picked up a bunch of different types of crackers. I usually only keep Ritz crackers in the house. It's something that I always have in my pantry and in my cabinet. But today I also picked up some of these tomato basil wheat thins. I think these are really delicious for, you know, like a cheese platter or your charcuterie board. I also picked up some lightly salted rice cakes. My husband loves these. Personally, I don't like them at all, but he loves these. He takes these in his lunch for his afternoon snack, if you can imagine that. I also picked up a container of orzo. And then I have a bunch of different cheeses that I picked up for our charcuterie boards and our veggie trays. I picked up a few different cheeses today. I have some goat cheese here. I love goat cheese in a salad. I do a mixture of grape tomatoes, goat cheese, pecans, and craisins. If you add that to just about any salad, it is, to me at least, it is just so delicious. So I try to always have a little goat cheese in my refrigerator. I have some brie here for a charcuterie board, and this is the garlic and herb cheese spread that I use in those peppers. You can add it to peppers, you can add it to celery. It is really just so delicious, and just about anything that you add it to. I also picked up a container of fig preserves. This is one of my husband's favorite, and this is also very good on a charcuterie board. I have 2 containers here of just plain hummus. I like to make a plate of this, and I add a little bit of olive oil. I add some fresh herbs to it and garlic, and it is just so delicious with your veggies. So back here I have 2 cans of black olives. I have 2 cans of crushed pineapple. The very first recipe that I ever shared on my channel was for a pineapple bake that you can make with like pork roast or ham. So I will try to either add that video down below for you, or maybe I'll just redo the recipe altogether and add it to an upcoming video. I also have a jar here of roasted red peppers. I have a jar of just dry roasted peanuts. These are really great to have around. Everybody loves to munch on those. I also picked up a double container of Philadelphia cream cheese because I'm going to be making cream cheese frosting for carrot cake. And my carrot cake, I always use the spice cake from Duncan Hines. It's like my favorite. I think it tastes like it comes from scratch. And what I do is I just add a little bit of vanilla pudding, I add some raisins, and I just add some shredded carrot to it, and it's just so delicious. I have a few baking items here. I have some dry yeast. I'm going to be making some bread. I have some light brown sugar and some powdered sugar for that cream cheese frosting. I have 2 packages here of salted butter, have some celery, I have some zucchini, and I have a few sweet potatoes. So that's everything that I picked up from Walmart. Dinners this week are going to be a combo of my grocery haul today and what I already have on hand in the house in my freezer, refrigerator, and pantry. Now Sunday we're going to have a little family celebration, so I was able to pick up a few fun and different things today that will make our dinner on Sunday extra special. So here I have out some of the other ingredients that we're going to be needing for our pasta fagioli. Now with this recipe, I'm not going to be able to give you exact measurements because it's one of my mom's recipes and my mom never measured anything. Any recipe that I have of hers is basically just a listing of ingredients. For this recipe, you're going to need an assortment of Italian seasonings, basil, garlic powder, red pepper flakes, paprika. You can use canned spinach, but fresh spinach is best, and you'll need about 8 to 10 ounces of DRIZZLE pasta. Be sure to check out the description box down below for this and all of the recipes that I'm sharing today. This is truly one of those dump and go recipes. So in a big stock pot, you're going to put in your crushed tomatoes, 32 ounces of vegetable broth, tomato sauce, 2 cups of water, your 2 cans of cannellini beans, and to taste, you're going to add your garlic powder, salt and pepper, about a tablespoon of sugar, dried parsley, basil, and oregano. You can also add a little bit of white wine if you wish, and a few shakes of hot sauce. Bring this all to a boil and then lower your heat to medium and let it simmer for about 45 minutes. So after about 45 minutes, return your pot to a boil and add about 3 good-sized handfuls of fresh spinach. Remember that spinach really does cook down to almost nothing, so don't be too afraid if it looks like it's too much. If you want to use canned spinach, you can go ahead and put that in at the very beginning. So let the spinach cook down for a few minutes, and then we're going to add your 8 ounces of pasta. Let this cook for about 10 minutes or so until the pasta is al dente. So this next step to my mom's pasta fagioli recipe is really her secret ingredient, so you all have to promise not to tell anybody. But what she would do is take a little bit of olive oil in a small saute pan and heat it up. And then she would take a large tablespoon and fill half of the tablespoon with paprika, the other half with hot pepper flakes. And then she would do something that she would call deflitto, which she would take the heated olive oil off of the flame and then swirl in her seasoning. And then take that spice and toss it right on top of her pasta fagioli. She would adjust any seasoning that she needed to. She would add more water to thin the soup. It had become too thick, and then it was all done. I think every Italian family has their own version of pasta fagioli, and this just happens to be ours. If you guys come from an Italian family and you have your own pasta fagioli recipe, I would love if you would leave the details down below in the comments section for me. I would just love to see how your family makes this dish. This is just one of those recipes that gets better the longer that it is in your refrigerator, and it also freezes really well too. So to get us started today, we are making Italian sausage and peppers in the crock pot. You will need some mild and hot sausage, red and green sliced peppers and onions, and some homemade or bottled tomato sauce. Layer the sausage, peppers, and onions and tomato sauce in your crock pot. Cover and cook on high for 2 hours, then reduce the temperature to low and cook for an additional 3. This meal is best served on some nice soft Italian rolls and a big salad. By this time, the sausage and peppers should be all done. You can turn off your crock pot and transfer into another container to let cool, or just go ahead and spoon it into an Italian roll. This stuff smells so good. It reminds me so much of my mom's kitchen on Saturday afternoons. So next up, we are going to be making some turkey meatloaf. This is a great pantry meal choice because you can literally put any leftover veggies that you have in your refrigerator in this meatloaf mix. Today I'm going to be putting in some onion, green bell pepper, and some carrots. I also like to use ground turkey to save us a little bit on calories, but you can use ground beef if you want to. Now I puree my veggies together in a small Cuisinart food processor and then add it to the mix, but you can also just add chopped up vegetables as well. To the ground turkey, I add some breadcrumbs that I made in the food processor, a little bit of barbecue sauce, Worcestershire sauce, Romano cheese, salt and pepper, parsley flakes, and garlic powder. I will put the full recipe down below for you. Mix this all together really well and form one large meatloaf and 12 meatballs. We like to put a simple glaze on top of our meatloaf. This is just a combination of ketchup, brown sugar, and a little Worcestershire sauce. I usually add this on top of the meatloaf in the last 15 minutes or so. We're going to bake the meatloaf at 375 for about an hour and a half and then add the glaze and cook an additional 10 to 15 minutes. Tonight we had our meatloaf with some red-skinned mashed potatoes and mixed vegetables. So today we are going to be making some roasted salmon. This is a super easy recipe. All you're really going to need is some lemon, some fresh dill, butter, your regular salt and pepper, and Mrs. Dash, and some honey. So go ahead and lay your salmon out on a foil-lined cooking sheet. So in a small bowl, you're going to put a couple tablespoons of honey and the juice from half of a fresh lemon. Mix it all up and brush it all over the surface of your salmon. Add your salt and pepper, garlic powder, or Mrs. Dash. Sprinkle on your fresh chopped dill and lay out your lemon slices and butter. You're going to bake this in a 425-degree oven, and depending on the size of your piece of salmon, for something this large, I'm going to bake it anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes. For the full recipe and instructions, check out the information bar below. So I've taken the salmon out of the oven. It's been in there for about 18 or 19 minutes, and to check for doneness, you want to go to the thickest part. If it flakes easily with your fork, then it's all done. It can be a little tricky to transfer the salmon to a serving dish, but Martha Stewart taught me how to do this. You just take it out in sections and just reconstruct it on your serving platter. This is such a great, easy recipe. I have served this on simple Saturdays, and I've also served it for parties and for holidays, and there is never any leftovers. Tonight I am just serving it with some garlic and parsley pasta and a big green salad. So that's going to do it for me today. There's a whole week's worth of recipes for you. I hope this helps you to fill out your meal plan for your week ahead. Check out the description box down below for any links and details to today's recipes. Join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life. And don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you all back as part of our ever-growing YouTube family. So until I see you in that next video, I hope that you love the life that you have, be kind to each other, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.